What I eat, what should I do? And flip it to the index.
Yeah.
And just apply that principle to your life.
Yeah.
When it talks about peace and loving people and forgiveness, these are if you didn't even believe.
Yeah, if you didn't even believe in heaven or hell or nothing.
Yeah.
If you just took it and used
it like a rule book, a handbook.
Used it. That's the best one.
Yeah.
Yep, that's the best rule book you can ever have. I promise.
I think about that a lot. You know, I think about Dad and I think about the stuff he said. And when Dad passed away, it left a big hole in my life because we talked so much.
Yeah, y'all.
And we worked together from the time we were young. Mm-hmm. I was young. We worked together all the time.
Yeah.
We worked in the coal mines together. Any restaurant I opened, him and Mom were right there with me. Mom working right along beside of him. Everything we done it together.
Yeah.
And so that was a big hole. There was a hole left. And I tell you what I done when Dad died. I lost my ambition.
Yeah.
I didn't.
Keep pushing.
I didn't want to do. Because I wanted to do stuff to make him proud when I wanted him to see it.
Yeah.
And because I knew it was important to him. The business aspect was important.
Yeah.
And it wasn't important to me. But it was important to him, so it was important to me. But when he wasn't there, it was no longer important to me.
You didn't have no desire to do it.
I just don't, people come to me now with ideas and businesses, and I say, I'm not really concerned.
People does me. I ain't gonna do nothing else.
I think I'm not really concerned about it. Right now, what I want to do is, Janice and I talking about what we're going to fix for supper this evening. I said, well, make me out a list, and I'll go to Food Line with some noodles and some stuff we want to fix, and I'm just excited about that. I don't mind doing that, and it just it's different now. What you look at. I mean,
it is.
I don't know. Well, Charlie, let me answer me this: if you knew there was people listening to you right now and watching you that really would listen to you and take your advice. And we've already talked about not going in debt.
Yeah.
That's a big thing. Okay? But I mean, if you knew somebody, see, a lot of times we don't think anybody's listening.
Oh, yeah.
Okay? But if you knew somebody was listening, they really were going to do what you said for them to do, what would you leave them with on this?
I think that I would leave them with probably what you just talked about right there in that Bible. Mm-hmm. I would leave them with that, to apply those principles to their life, and to apply that to just not to life, it's to everyday living. Mm-hmm. If you could follow those principles and rules, just like we talk about formulas, we said a little bit about it, but that right there is a formula that you can use for any situation. I've never run into a problem. I've never run into a problem that I couldn't find the answer out of the Bible, out of the book.
Yeah.
I can always find the answer, and you can. A lot of people, the reason they can't find the answer is because they never read it, and they never talk about it. They never hear about it. But that's if you could apply that, and the instinct within you, you're automatically taught not to steal. I mean, you automatically know it's wrong to steal,
right.
And to do stuff like that. I mean, it's the reason, because when people get it, they try to hide it and try to make sure nobody sees it.
Yeah.
And that's what happens, But I would use that principle right there. I was kind of like Brother Eddie. My mom and dad, they growed up, and I growed up in a Christian family. My dad wasn't no preacher or nothing, but they went to church every Sunday. They was the church, and I remember in church, we went to Fork Ridge, the old church up on Fork Ridge, up above Red Ash, up there in Raven, where I first told you. But anyway, I remember the things that I heard, and just like Brother Eddie, but John was talking about there, that some things are said that, that you think nobody's listening, but, I remember listening in that church and stuff, and I still today got those things in my heart. And that's, and I think if you could do that, and treat everybody just like, I try to do this, I try to treat everybody like I'd want to be treated. And that's the principle right there that I've tried to do. I never did try to take nobody's money not to steal off of them. I never did do that. I told somebody the other day, I never did sell somebody a car that I knowed that I wouldn't put my family in. I never did, not knowing it. I mean, something may happen to it, but I never would do stuff like that. And that was my principle that I lived by.
I think if we should, like you're talking about, showing people respect.
Yeah, respect.
And just to ease up a little bit and
Yeah.
and show
And
respect.
I had to learn a lot of things. It's like me and Brother Eddie talked about. We had been taught so many different tough ways about Christ and about the Bible and about Christianity. We'd been taught so many things that you had to do, and it's hard to undo that.
Yeah,
And that was my
right,
hardest thing,
right.
because I've been brought up on the hard Pentecost.
right,
stuff.
right.
I've been brought up. And you got to live right to go to heaven. I don't care who you are.
Right.
I mean, it's
Yeah.
like that. But then it ain't quite as hard as everybody put it years ago. I agree now.
Charlie. I agree, Charlie.
I look back and I could have done better in that area of Charlie. But of course, I took Charlie with me. I didn't send him. I took him,
Right.
and that's
Yes,
the
sir.
difference.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I think you need to take your kids instead of sending your kids.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
I agree. Well, I tell you what, I appreciated Charlie coming by. I know he stays busy hunting.
Yeah, I come
Not
back,
working.
I come back to chase the deer. I left the deer up in the field.
And, you don't have to pray for the deers he hunts.
Yeah, they're outsmarting me.
They're working a lot better than he is.
They are.
But I appreciate Charlie coming by and being with me. Charlie is he's not a friend, he's my brother.
Yes, I am.
And I've loved him for a long time.
Yep.
Years, we just have. I've always loved him, and he's been a
Yep.
friend of mine, and I think that's important. And friends don't have to be perfect.
No.
That's why I've got them.
Yep.
Okay, they don't need somebody to be perfect. And I think we have to look at stuff, and say, listen, these are my friends, and I think friendship's important nowadays. I think it's missing a little bit. It really is.
Yeah.
Well, I appreciate you watching, and
Thank
you've
you.
been watching Just from the Shed, the worldwide international edition. You can't find this on NBC, CBS, Fox, none of them. I will not let them have this program. I'm not going to accept their money, and I will not let them buy this program. It's free for you. We call it Just from the Shed. Adios.